Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lanky Beat Show, brought to you by Wrightington Hospital Radio. We are going to have a ball as usual. We've got a guest, our special guest tonight is George White. He's going to be telling us all about the stuff he's been doing over the years. At the moment, he's in a band called George's Big Shed. That's an incredible name. I hope you're going to enjoy listening to what George has to say. Meanwhile, we'll get on with the show. This is Chimbo's Revival. With a Girl Like You. Chimbo's Revival. If you remember, a few shows ago we had Diane interviewed Chimbo from Chimbo's Revival, didn't we? He's the guy with the kiss curl, Bill Haley look, isn't he?
Really
from
nice,
Denmark.
Really nice guy, isn't he?
He's a lovely guy. And he's exceedingly talented. And he's nearly one of the best bands we've had up in Lancashire since we started.
He's a big lad.
Yeah. But I think the best band we've had, the guy who runs the best band we've ever had, is sat at the side of me, yeah.
Is there in a very tight band?
I know, very tight band.
Don't tell him I said so.
I know.
Mum's the word.
Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, I've got this thing from the Cyclones. It's a real throwback. You'll listen to the quality of this, and it's not very good, but that's what I like about it. It's authentic. And the Cyclones are from the Pendle area of Lancashire. Beautiful, green, and pleasant land is the Pendle area, despite all the history of the witches. But here they go. These are called the Cyclones.
I want you back again. I want your love again. I know you find it hard to reason with me, but this time it's different. Darling, you'll see. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You said we're through before you walked out on me before. I tried to tell you but this time it's different, and it's just a week ago. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me.
Boom. The Cyclones. And Tell Me. And all the crackly bits off the 45 vinyl record there, isn't there? You kind of don't get that these days with CDs. Why is it that we don't, CDs? Are they so good?
Well, vinyl, it's the more you play it, it gets worn out, doesn't it? Because it's got a particular touch with the stylus going on.
Yeah.
CDs are laser that touch it, so there's no contact.
So they don't wear out like a
not
vinyl
the same,
record.
no.
But I mean, it's all part of.
I think it adds character to the record, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Like when I've got scratches of a record, I remember where that scratch was done. Is at such a place, some idiot fell into the deck.
Ah, right.
So I don't mind scratches on the record.
Yeah, I don't. And I mean, because we're doing what we're doing with the Lanky Beat show, and we're kind of showcasing bands way back 50 years ago, that's just what they sounded like, isn't it?
They sounded brilliant, didn't they?
I know. And it's remarkable that sounds so good. Even now, with all the mastery we have over technology and, digital and this and that and the other, it still holds up.
Well, to me, digital, it sounds too clean and it's too clinical. It's not got that warmth with it that analog has.
I know, but we're stuck with it. Because
we're not.
When we want to record anything now, we're going into the studio and it's all put down on digital.
It's not with me, it's not, because I've got reel-to-reel.
Oh, right.
I've got 8-track reel-to-reel. I've got a Fostex M80,
right,
which is 8-track, and I love it to bits. People can I buy that off you?
Yeah.
No.
You're showing off now, all this equipment you've got.
I just collect all vintage equipment.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like modern horrible things.
I know. You're a very rare person, aren't you, Diane?
I don't know. I'm just me.
Yeah.
Like, Jerry's after that Wem copycat I've got. I'm sorry, Jerry, it's mine.
What's a Wem copycat? Explain that to me.
It's like a square thing like that with a tape loop going round. It causes echo.
All right.
And Jerry used it for his guitar effects on the Shadows.
And he'd still use it on playing live?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
They're brilliant.
Absolutely.
But Jerry's is going a bit battered. He's after mine. I'm sorry.
And did they not make these things anymore? Or did they do kind of digital versions of that?
They do a digital version, but something about having seen a piece of tape going round all the time.
And they break those tapes, don't they? They snap.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Put another one on.
Oh, right.
I've got thousands of foot of tape. I just make them.
Right. Got
You'll
it.
remember them, won't you?
I remember.
Yeah, we're going to have to welcome George here. George White, welcome to the Lanky Beat Show. Your chauffeur, we'll have to mention Maureen. Has she been your chauffeur tonight? Has she brought you down here?
She is, yeah.
Thank
She's
you
looking
very much,
after me very
Maureen.
well.
Yeah, and she's overlooking the proceedings and making sure we behave ourselves. And like I say, thank you very much. Before we get stuck into you, George, and get some things going, I want to listen to your first track of your CD, which, of course, is cold and clinical, as Diane says, and not very nice at all, but I'm sure that's all right. And Here We Can't Get Enough, that's what it says. Track 1. This is George's Big Shed.
of Wrightington Hospital, playing the best of yesterday and today. Playing your music 24 hours a day. across the wards of Wrightington and Wigan hospitals. Playing the best of yesterday and today. Your very own hospital radio. Playing your music 24 hours a day. This is Wrightington Hospital Radio.
Wow, George, that track. That is an accumulation of years and years of dedication, passion, all coming together through instruments called guitars and drums and songwriting. It's amazing. That doesn't come together with a band overnight, does it? I mean, that's what I'm really trying to kind of get at straight away. The experience behind something like that. What I'm going to do with George now, take him right back to where it started and how it all began to come to the point where you can produce something like that. And like I say, it doesn't happen overnight, does it, George?
No, it doesn't.
Where did it start?
No, it doesn't. Well, it started way back in '65, I suppose. Very first gig, local village hall.
Yeah.
Using the bands.
Which village hall was that?
Rainford Village Hall.
Rainford, that's near St Helens, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was born, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Right.
But we used the band's gear, and we just had such a good time. It was so good. We only did 3 numbers. All Chuck Berry numbers.
Right. What band was this? Did it have a name?
No, it didn't. They were just mates of ours. They're just lads from the village, you know.
Yeah,
that's all it was. We never actually got it together. We didn't do anything else. We tried to do a gig on our own at Rainford Parish Hall, but nobody had a plug board, so we couldn't plug all the amps.
All the amps in at once. Well, we didn't have plug boards in them days.
They hadn't been invented.
Yeah.
We was all stood there with 3 amps and 1 socket behind the curtain. Anyway, we managed to.
And usually that was 5 amps, wasn't it?
Yeah,
with round pins.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
Terrible. Anyway, so that was it then. We kind of finished, and I sallied off into a life of rock and roll, starting with motorbikes, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so that's the earliest days, your manifestation. What instrument did you play then, back then?
Well, originally I started off on guitar. I bought an old Rossetti Lucky 7 and struggled with that. I learned to play Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who, yeah.
Theme from Doctor Who?
Theme from Doctor Who.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been trying to look for them 2 notes ever since, I think.
there's only 2
anyway,
notes.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I got that together, and then I had this thing about being a bass player because nobody else was one.
Yeah.
Of course, in them days, you used to have to get on a bus to go to Liverpool or Manchester to see a bass. Nobody had one. I used to go and just ogle at basses. Anyway, eventually come... Oh, and we also needed a van. And seeing as I was probably the worst musician, I'd buy the van.
Right.
I've still got the van, actually.
So how old were you?
This is, well, I was born 1950, so I was 15
yeah.
When I first started to go. And then I suppose I was getting 17 or 18 before we seriously tried to get a band together.
Yeah, the mid-60s was like kind of, I suppose, a heyday of, you could say, Merseybeat and, of course, the Manchester and all that, the emergence of it. And you were just 15 years old. Yeah. I mean, I was... In 1965, I was 20, I think 19 or 20. Yeah. So we'd moved into the bands by then, and but you're a little bit younger than me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. These youngsters are getting them in. And so, what were you listening to at 15 years old? Then, what was your favourite at 15 years old?
I was born in the country, like it says on the first track. The first track is very much a drop-down 45 record player, and some guy lent me a lot of albums. I don't know why. He was an older guy than me. He was going down to St Helens with the Beetle Crushers on and the like the skeleton ties and that. And he lent me. He must have took a shine to me, and he heard I'd got a guitar, so he lent me these albums, and they were all Chuck Berry stuff, Bo Diddley. Yeah. And I just played them over and over. Yeah. And I just loved them. Yeah. And then, of course, when I went to parties and people were putting the first Stones album on and the first early Beatles albums,
Yeah.
I thought, I know that number.
Well,
I knew it.
That's where they,
Yeah.
the Beatles, I suppose, got their influences from. It's all about,
Yeah,
Chuck
yeah,
Berry,
oh,
that
yeah,
early
yeah, it is,
Elvis,
yeah,
particularly
yeah.
with John Lennon. I mean,
Yeah,
Elvis.
absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
that's where they got it. And here you were listening to this kind of stuff, and then of course. Then you were going back to your kind of your band at the time, and then saying, "Look, let's play this." I mean, is that what you were doing?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I fell totally in love with that era of myself, but I ended up. I wasn't doing any vocals. I was just playing bass,
Yeah.
an instrument I still love.
Right.
I mean, but the band, the next band, the band I joined was a band that was organised by the drummer's dad, I think, and he had an idea of what we would be doing, and we would be doing social clubs.
Right.
So that was A-OK, which
Yeah.
work. It was money. We were having good fun.
Yeah. This is local social clubs like I know there was a big social club in Rainford, wasn't there?
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't play around. We had a.
No? No.
This band was from Rouse and Tellins.
Right.
The Rainford band fizzled out.
Yeah.
They all went off to be
It
lawyers and.
still didn't have a name. Yeah,
No.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
So so this band, so they were busy or organised to play pop numbers at the time. So I just went along and we were playing like pop music really, and not doing a lot of rock and roll.
Yeah.
When I think about it, that band hadn't much rock and roll in them, So.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kept my mouth shut because I was not a band leader at the time.
Right, yeah.
Far from it.
Were you the kind of youngest or something? That because usually big lads. No.
I don't know. No, I don't think I was youngest. I was just going along.
You just went along
I
with
didn't
it.
think it would have lasted this long.
I don't think any of us did it at the time. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting, I find it fascinating where just how it begins and what kind of stuff you're actually listening to. I think to myself, I was listening to things like The Sound of Music and South Pacific and My Fair Lady LPs at the latter end, between 1955 and 1957. Then Lonnie Donegan, and then and it all, what happened after that. But you were listening first off. Your main influences were actual rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhythm and blues. Chuck Berry.
And rhythm and blues. Yeah. And
But I kind of went through lean periods because everybody, of course, the 60s was so experimental. I mean, we had people like Jethro Tull and King Crimson and Cream. Everybody was playing around with like different timings, everything
They
was
were.
really experimental.
They were.
Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
It was a melee of thing to be thrown into, And
Yeah.
I think I kind of lost the essence of rock and roll and rhythm
Yeah.
and blues. I think a lot of this country did.
Yeah.
In them
I
60s.
think you're right.
It was replaced by some fantastic music, but
Yeah.
by the time the 60s had ended, it had more or less gone.
It had.
You know,
I agree with you.
it's,
I agree. Yeah.
So, and then I was lucky enough to still keep playing. I was still getting jobs as a bass player, doing some good jobs, some bad jobs, but I was still playing. I still loved playing.
You'd no kind of major affiliation to a band then, is that what you were saying?
Well, I enjoyed being the band I was in. I was quite...
But it still had no name.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the first band in St Helens that we were earning money with was called
right.
Love Tangle.
Tangle.
I still think that's a great name.
It is a good name.
Love Tangle. And we got it out. It was stuck a pin in it was a horse. It was the name of a horse, actually. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
a
was
racehorse.
it was the 315 at Catterick, was
Yeah,
it?
just stuck a pin in Love Tangle and that's it.
Fantastic,
You know, yeah.
fantastic. So, that's great.
That was a good band. And then later...
What kind of material was that?
Well, we used to tackle singles of the time, and which led us to do, we actually did a version of Jethro Tull, Living in the Past.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we did Louie Louie, which I still do.
Yeah.
That was the first number I ever learned, and I
Yeah.
still do it. I'm
Yeah.
going to get it right sometime.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, that's one of the rock classics of all time.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
band used to do it.
yeah.
And it's still done, like you say.
Yeah.
Some of them you don't lose at all.
No.
But I mean, you moved on to songwriting, and
Yeah.
was that sooner or just this is something of late, George?
No,
that you've
no. I moved on to songwriting in about 75, 76.
done? So that's a pretty long time
Yeah.
ago.
Just because I knew I could do something with it. I don't know. I've always been in love with words. You know, rhyming things or not rhyming things, creating images with words,
and of course songwriting is the perfect medium, isn't it, for it?
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying before about the first track we played of yours, the George's Big Shed. Is it autobiographical? Do you say?
That is, that's exactly how it happened.
So if you kind of replay this again, folks, you can, because you can wind it back on YouTube there. You can pull it back and listen to it all over again and listen to what George is saying, because that is some part of his life that he wants to tell you all about. Now, this next song, then, tell us what this next song of yours is going to be all about.
Right. Well, this next song's called Lucky 13. This was wrote possibly in the late 70s. This was a celebration of the Friggin' Brigadiers getting together, which was the first band I ever played in that I did any singing in.
The Friggin' Brigadiers. Friggin' Brigadiers.
The Friggin' Brigadiers.
Yeah, well, we have to get our mouths around that, folks. And, we've got people worldwide listening to this, and some people in America might have just reached for the button at that point.
No, it's fine. Well, I hope it is anyway. Yeah. Anyway, we existed purely to write songs. A friend of mine was also into songwriting, and we wrote lots and lots of songs.
Fantastic.
And some were recorded. None were actually recorded by the Friggin' Brigadiers, but I have actually recorded some of them later on.
Right.
And this next track, called Lucky 13, this was wrote in about 77, 78. Yeah.
You found it. Your very own hospital radio. Your music, your station. With hits of yesterday and today. Wrightington Hospital Radio.
lucky for me.
if you still sat down listening to that, well, there's something wrong with you, because we've been dancing around here in the studio, haven't we? To that. You can't sit down, can you?
My head's still shaking.
Absolutely can't sit down. I mean, and that is what the essence of George's Big Shed. He rocks, this fella, doesn't he? Huh? I don't know.
That's when you're rocking, you've got one going, you can feel it going all over
I
the
know,
place.
you can feel it. It hits you, doesn't it? Right in the solar plexus. It's fantastic, George. Great track.
Thank you. 2
tracks now, and I'm coming up shortly. I'm looking forward to it, playing third track, because it's my favourite of the 5 that we're going to play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, you said in the early days you were mainly interested in playing that bass.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you were songwriting, and then where did the vocals come from? Because that was you on vocals, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I still have great doubts about my vocal ability, but I seem to make it work within the rest of the racket I make along with the band. So there we go.
But you sing in tune.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, which is a good start.
And I hope I sound like I mean it. And maybe they can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about, now going back a little bit, about the friggin' Brigadiers.
Right.
And tell us about that era. That this is now, we're into early mid 70s, are we?
Yeah. We're coming up to the end of the 70s, and I'd more or less kind of jacked in music. I wasn't happy with where things had gone, and I wanted to do something. And then I was one of the few older guys that embraced punk. Not actually punk, but the idea of it. I thought, well, this is this rock and roll of the 70s.
It certainly was. And was it?
Yeah.
It hit you straight between the eyes, didn't it? There was no mistaking about how the impact, certainly on me. I mean, by this time, I'd a wife, 2 kids, a mortgage, and a landlord to keep. Yeah. And, like most people, we'd just settled down into family life. All of a sudden, this stuff was hitting you right between the eyes, wasn't it? It was causing so much controversy at the time. And records were being banned by the BBC, God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols.
Exactly, yeah.
All knocked on the head. So it must have been good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I want some of this action.
So you felt that was it. It was just right for you, George.
It was, because it reminded me of the kids reminded me of what I was like when I was a kid. I was just like making a noise because I wanted to make a noise.
Yeah.
So, and I decided that would be a golden opportunity to write our own material.
Yeah.
So the Friggin' Brigadiers was basically a 3-piece band playing everything as fast as we could, and we just wrote loads and loads of songs.
Which was the punk
Yeah.
Kind of style, wasn't it? I mean, apart from the kind of controversial kind of songs that were written at the time, it was just a speeded up version of a lot of traditional rock and roll songs. Really.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the time you would go to concerts, and the bands of our age or a bit older, they'd spend an hour telling us about something which you either did understand or you didn't understand, and then the last 5 minutes they'd play Johnny Be Good and really get going.
Absolutely.
All the punks really got going in the first place.
Yeah, Johnny Be Good is probably one of the first original punk songs in its way. And let it rip, as it were, and that's what happened, yeah.
Well, there was a lot. I'm also passionate about the British music industry, and at the time, I think it was one of our healthiest periods. Although we can say punk and we think of Sex Pistols, there was a lot of other things going on.
Yeah.
I mean, there was Stiff Records, there was the Stranglers, there was Elvis Costello, there was Two Tone. There was a lot of stuff going musically.
Yeah.
And our songwriting was not really about punk. I mean, we did some of the Brigadier stuff I still am going to record. I mean, we're all still alive. Maybe we should record it. But we wrote a track called Absence Makes the Heart Jane Fonda.
Oh, wonderful. See?
And stuff like
this
that.
This guy, lovely stuff. Plays on words. He said he loves words, don't you?
Yeah.
You love words. And just let me point out to you something. If you move up to the closer to the speaker there. That's it. Get closer. You'll be able to see what it says on this George's Big Shed CD cover. It says, "A bright future behind us." I'll let you think about that. A bright future behind us. Now that's George's play on words. That. And then underneath it says, Shed Beat Records, and we'll tell you a little story about that in a minute. And then it's got 5 listed tracks, 2 of which we've heard. And then it says, "A Willie Turn Up Promotion." A Willie Turn Up Promotion. Get it? Willie Turn Up Promotion. That's it. So where did those kind of come from? Can you?
I think of stuff like that all the time.
We're just turning up words and being and having a laugh. Of course it is.
Yeah, it's having
fantastic,
fun. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. So playing music and a wordsmith as well.
Yeah,
oh, man
I hope
after
so.
my own heart.
I hope so. Yeah.
So tell us about this next third track, "Rock and Roll Kid." This is one of my favourite.
Well, this track, I've had the backbeat in my head for quite a while, and I really plagiarised everything. It's got every rock and roll cliche in it that I could think of. It's got Green Door, One-Eyed Cats. It's got it all, and it's I wrote it the day I qualified for a bus pass. So it's the most modern of the tracks that I wrote.
So what age is it you qualify for
60.
a bus pass?
And it's really, I've done, the chorus says it all. The chorus says it all. And enjoy some of the images, because I've got Kokomo Beach, I've got it all in. What I didn't get in was the souped up diddly, which is a Chuck Berry line that he uses in You Can't Catch Me.
Right. So there you go. What's not there
is souped up diddly.
Here we go.
Radio Wrightington. The best variety, all your favorites and the greatest. Radio Wrightington.
Shoes on pink Cadillacs. Give me the backbeat that takes me back. Scrub my guitar, boy, and pump up that bass. Spreading my name all over the place. Hit them drums like you're gonna kill 'em. Get so heavy, put some concrete in 'em. Done what I done, I did what I did. No back of attention. I'm a rock and roll kid. I'm a rock and roll kid. 'Cause I got an addiction, I gotta satisfy my soul. Give me a cure, but give me a reason. I'm deep in love, I'm all shook up. I still take sugar just to lift me up. Sitting all alone in a heartbreak hotel. That kind of living don't do me very well. Needed much and I needed more. I seen what goes on behind the green door. I done what I done, I did what I did. Don't mess up attention. I'm a rock and roll kid. I'm a rock and roll kid. 'Cause I got an addiction, I gotta satisfy my soul. Give me a cure, but give me a reason. I done what I done, I did what I did. Don't mess up attention. I'm a rock and roll kid. I'm a rock and roll kid. New Jersey Turnpike and blue suede shoes, going down to the Kokomo
Well, I mean, you know, what can you say? What can you say? And that just says it all, in other words, doesn't it, George? I mean,
I hope so.
yeah. Now then, I believe these recordings take place in the backyard, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, they take place down in the shed, yeah.
Yeah.
A purpose-built emporium of music and mayhem.
Yeah. What about the kind of, is it well sound insulated and things like that? No. So they all know in the village, do they, when you're doing some recording?
No, because it's quite isolated.
Oh, good, yeah.
If I did want to soundproof it, I would probably just try to soundproof it against the hum of the M58 motorway, which is quite close.
Ah, of course,
so,
yeah.
Like most studios are soundproof to keep sound out, not keep it in, really.
Right. I mean, yeah. I never really thought of it that way when you put that. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's quite a large room, and we play everything live, and we mix it down with very little help from effects or anything. It's pretty dry.
So that's what you do. That's put down live. Everything mic'd in.
Yeah.
Your drums all mic'd up.
Yeah. Vocals.
Get your balances, and then.
Yeah, we just play it as we're playing it live.
Can you tweak it later on?
Yeah, we do tweak it a bit. There's probably a bit of compression on the bass, maybe tighten the vocals up a bit, but very little.
And where do you got all that expertise from? You're playing, you're singing, you're songwriting, and now all of a sudden you're a sound recording engineer as well. How does that come about?
Well, I think you just know what you want and try and get there. I must admit, when it comes to mixing down, I have a good friend of mine, a guy called Paul Draper. He does the mix downs for me. Paul Draper. He's got a lot better set of ears than I have. My ears are pretty battered over the years.
Yeah, I know. Mine are too.
Yeah.
I'm on 50% on each ear.
Am I?
I'm on.
Are you?
So that's me. Pardon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I first found out when I got this hearing problem when I started singing out of tune in the band that I was in. Yeah. We were four-voice harmony, weren't we?
All right, that'd be
and drummer was singing out of tune, and they didn't know how to approach me. You're ruining it.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So anyway, they eventually plucked up enough courage and told me that there was something wrong. So I went down to my local hospital via my doctor. He could ask to refer you, and the guy there was called Mr. De Carpentier. This is at Chorley Hospital. And he said, I told him exactly what I said. I'm trying to sing harmony in a band. And I said, I'm singing out of tune. He said, I'm in a band too, he says. Get yourself a good monitor speaker, he said. And he said, because both your ears are shot in terms of you're about 50% of the middle range. The middle range all gone. Top end okay, bottom end okay. He said, but that middle range is gone, never to return. And I can give you 10 hearing aids, and it still won't make any difference. It just enhance the bit that you've got left.
Right. Oh yeah.
You can have it. Yeah. You can have it. I said, I'll take it. He said, but the monitor speaker was the trick, and it did.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a good monitor speaker, and took it all back to the lads. They persevered with me, and we were back singing four-voice harmonies for the next, to whenever it finished. So that's my little story, and I'm taking away your story. It's your show tonight.
No, it's
not. The George White Show, ladies and gentlemen, from George's Big Shed. And George, take me through. Then I've got to kind of. I know we're bouncing backwards and forwards, and we're giving our listeners a headache, but I don't care because it's interesting stuff. Right? What then in terms of bands? We're at the end of the 70s now, aren't we? The friggin' Brigadiers moved on to what? What did move on to?
Ran through to the early 80s. Well, the friggin' Brigadiers, it disbanded for one reason or another. All quite amiable, really, but it just did. It had run its course. The band had run its course.
Yeah.
The spark had gone. It got eroded.
Yeah.
So, time to call it a day. And since then, it's been George's Big Shed with various members, which are people I know. People who are chosen especially for the job, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, have you kind of deliberately recruited, your drummer and your bass player? You do go out and say, look, would you like to come and
Yeah, well,
we can make it work?
Yeah, Graham, the guitarist I'm using at present, is ideal for me. He's a really nice bloke, and he was a fan of the friggin' Brigadiers. So
Right.
I've got him. He's already in the office. It's just a matter of
That's
speaking
right.
to him
Yeah.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, and remarkable drummer you've got there as well.
Drummers tend to come and go. I think my music is basically a bit one-dimensional, and some drummers, especially if you get a young drummer, they want to learn and try other things. So,
Yeah.
But I tend to need a good, solid hit-em type drummer.
You do?
I mean,
Yeah.
It's that.
Because
it's part of it.
You're a hit 'em type band. I mean, it's
we try to be.
And I mean, Diane can say, we can say when we've seen your 2 performances down at Lanky Cats, I think you tempered yourself. I think you kind of just held it back a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did. And you're doing family favourites as well, aren't you?
Yes,
You're doing family favourite songs. Then you'll make yourself popular, and you'll enamour yourself to them. Well, I like the other side of your act.
Yeah.
Give it to them, sock it to them, and let it rip.
Yeah,
and be yourself is what I advocate to all the bands that come. And I know you take a look at the audience, go, oh, they're a bit this or a bit that. You take a look at the audience, and you want to please. We all do. We're entertainers at the end of the day, aren't we?
Condition,
and we want to please. So that's what you're doing. So I hope that when you come again in March, and we'll fix a date up pretty soon, that you'll just say, right, we're doing it for us tonight, and see what happens.
Okay.
I'm telling you what, you're going to lift the roof.
Right.
I know.
Yeah,
all right. Is that a promise?
That's a promise, yeah, I'll do that. We want everybody to be there.
Take us into the next song then, George.
Right, the next song, Blue Eyes, wrote possibly the end of the 80s. It's okay. It's got a really nice verse in that's a bit of a scat on the music business, but listen to it, you'll find it. You'll find it. Enjoy.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, you're brilliant.
That's it. You've got the full 100% full on George's Big Shed there. There's nothing left to be said about George's Big Shed, is there, really? Because it tells you everything you need to know. My style of rock and roll, and maybe not yours. Maybe you like it a little bit gentler. Maybe you like it a little bit kind of raunchier. But that, to me, is what it is all about. I'd love to be in a band like that. I really would. George, from being in bands, you're an event organiser, because in your big shed at home, well, apart from you being a recording studio as well, you've got lots of room for things, haven't you? You've got storage of stuff.
Yes,
what's
I have,
all that
yeah.
for? And what's all that about?
Well, for the last few years, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, I've been part of the committee that puts on a local festival, which gives me a great excuse to plug in everything I own. If it makes a noise, I plug it in.
Right.
And we are getting louder and
festival.
louder.
A festival? What's
Yeah.
this all about?
It's a music community festival, and it's called Bickerstock.
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 So
And
play on the word Bickerstaff
Yeah,
Village.
yeah. And Woodstock.
And Woodstock.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, what, you know, I'm mesmerised now. What's going on?
Well, what's going on? It's this is the 12th year it's been running. Next year will be the 12th year. So for 11 years, from small beginnings, it's got bigger and bigger. And we're
you've kept
still...
it that quiet. I only live 10 miles away.
know,
and you've kept it quiet.
Well, actually, it's so well attended, we don't advertise because we're in
Fantastic.
serious trouble.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're still running, and we're doing okay, and we're raising money for local charities,
Fantastic.
which is what it's
So,
for.
take me through what it's all about. It's a weekend thing.
Yeah, it always happens on the first weekend of August.
Right. And what is it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Friday is kind of reserved for the Bickerstaff residents. We put some sort of a dance on, come party, come, and that's all the residents
So,
of Bickerstaff.
where does this take place? In your back garden?
No,
in
it's
your
on
shed?
the parish field, Bickerstaff parish field, which is also the football field. So
Oh,
it's
right.
Bickerstaff
So it's a bit
Football
like
Club.
a carnival-ish sort
Yeah,
of thing.
it is a bit like
Festival.
a carnival, yeah.
So is the marquees and stages?
Yeah, we have a large marquee with an acoustic folk jazz kind of stage in it, and we also have a main outdoor stage which gets a bit heavier and a bit louder.
Yeah, covered with all the equipment safe,
yeah,
covered.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But the audience kind of just kind of.
Yeah, we have camping. You can camp. We have limited access to camping.
So
limited.
you actually do base it on the Woodstock theme.
Oh yeah.
Ish.
It is, yeah.
And they're not smoking funny things, are they?
Not as I know of.
I don't. There's supposed to be a lot of that going on, but I never joined in. I never joined in. But so have you got? Is there a bar and?
Yeah. We have a bar. We have food on. We have a couple of vegetarian.
Oh right.
Yeah. It's,
so you're catering then for
Yeah.
the entire community,
Yeah,
local
absolutely.
community,
Yeah.
and it's so popular that you don't advertise
We
it.
don't. We
And
just don't
you
advertise.
can't advertise it because otherwise, you know, it'll get too big and too out of hand. What about parking and things like that? But that's a big problem,
that's
isn't it?
one of the things. One year we must have had, I don't know, several hundred 2,000 or 3,000 turned up, of which we're restricted to about probably 1,200.
1,200.
And the car parking got out of hand, and the camping got out of hand, and everything was getting out of hand. There was no trouble, luckily, but we knew that we would have to stop advertising from that point because.
So, one of your ways of solving that was just simply keeping it.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
But now
Right.
the word's out now, isn't it?
I must admit, I'd heard about it, and I was suddenly finding myself Googling one night, and I thought, I've heard of that Bickerstock. I'll just Google it, see what comes up. And lo and behold, it was on the night I was Googling. I think it was a Friday night, and there it was. You were already on and underway that particular night. And then I promised myself to try and get down on the Sunday, and then something, you know, as usual,
Well,
somebody
yeah.
blows you out the water, and you have to, and it's gone. It's gone, and I wish I could have come down.
Yeah,
I
you
am
will
definitely coming down this year.
We invite you down.
Am I invited?
You're invited, and anybody from Lanky Cats is invited as
Oh,
well. Yeah.
wonderful.
We'd like to see you there.
Oh,
We've put a Lanky Cat half hour from you.
Oh, that's great. Oh, fantastic. That'll work, that, Diane. Hey, and you won't have to get lump any gear. You won't have to ump any gear up there. Yeah? Brilliant. Fantastic. As long as Diane can be our sound engineer.
Absolutely, Diane. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and so you give us some idea what you want from us, and we'll just do it.
Yeah.
It's really something to look
and
forward
to. It's still free. We don't charge admission.
There's no admission at all.
No, we do various fundraising events around Bickerstaff, and we've got enough money to run it next year and the year after. So away it goes. Yeah. It's all off donations. Yeah.
And where did the idea come from?
Well, the idea originally was little Paul Drapers, who ran a recording studio. He's a family friend and a good friend. Yeah, Paul, and he started it off, and he's still very, very much involved in it. But it was his idea. Yeah. And
you both ran with it?
Yeah, we both ran with it, and we've got a committee of about 10 or 12 people, which is the mainstay of it all. Yeah. Maureen here, she's the treasurer, come accounts and things,
well
and
done. Yeah,
keeps us under control.
Yeah.
I'm the Minister of Noise. I'm in charge of anything makes a racket.
Right. You've got the best job.
Yeah. I think they should make me the Minister of Noise.
Yeah. There's no stress in that, is there?
No.
Fantastic. That's great, George. And, well, we've got just about time now to play your last track from your lovely, lovely CD called A Bright Future Behind Us by George's Big Shed. And this particular track is called Trouble.
Trouble keeps knocking, knocking upon my door. Trouble keeps knocking, knocking upon my door. Hide, you can run. Someone's gonna come. Trouble keeps knocking, knocking upon my door. Tears are coming
I've had a ball tonight. I really have enjoyed myself, and I've had the honour of presenting the Lanky Beat Show tonight. And of course, I've had the honour of Diane producing it as well, which I always, she makes some kind of mistake and messes up somewhere along that. I'm only joking, Diane. I'm only joking. Fantastic show again. Thank you very, very much for what you've done again for the Lanky Beat and Lanky Beat Show, putting the Red Rose County of Lancashire on the world's rock and roll map, and about time too. That's what I say, because we've been a kind of a what do you call it, shrinking violet of sorts compared to, say, Liverpool and Manchester over the years. Nobody's really understood that Lancashire has bands as well in Bolton, Wigan, Preston, Bickerstaff, Skelmersdale. These little villages all had a little band apiece. Places like Hindley near Wigan, they had about a dozen bands from that little village. A dozen. 12 bands from that little area, right in the heart of the kind of mining district of between Wigan and Leigh and things like that. And that's what people don't understand in the world. And this is what we're doing here and now. And George is doing something absolutely very similar, and he's been doing it a lot longer than we've been doing it. In other words, with Bickerstock. It's fantastic. What you're doing. And keeping a lid on it's been your problem, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, but like luck's been with us, we're running with it, and it's going. But anyway, listen, thanks for your time and your hospitality. It's been good.
Oh,
yeah, it's been good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much for coming, George.
No problem.
And
we'll do it again sometime.
I'm bringing your chauffeur with you. Thank you very much. And Diane, thank you very much. And our guest over here, I've been observing tonight. Ian. He's potentially a new recruit for us, so we're all volunteers, here.
Sorry, volunteer. I always get that wee word.
Yeah, we're all volunteers, and we're all giving our time because we love what we do, and this is why we do it. And we get the enjoyment of bringing it all to you, and you understanding that we need to. We're the big rock and roll family, aren't we? We're a worldwide family of rock and rollers, and we're so close to each other. I've known George for like kind of not more than a few months, and I've met him twice in that few months, and yet we get on like a house on fire, don't we? It's fantastic.
Well, you always bump into somebody. They know somebody you know.
Yeah.
Eventually, they know several people as you know.
Yeah. George, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot.
Well done.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Rock and roll on. This is our play-out song, and Tobacco Road by the Scorpions.
I was born in a barn on the night that my daddy got drunk. He left me here to die of cold in the middle of Tobacco Road. Threw me in a dusty shed. All I had was hanging on my back. Only you know how low. Whoa, this place called Tobacco Road. But it's on the only life I've ever known. Only you know how low. Tobacco Road. Gonna leave, get a job with the help and the grace from up above. Send some money, get rich and all. Bring it back to Tobacco Road. Bring some dynamite and a plane. Blow it up and start all over again. Build a town, ride the show, and give the name Tobacco Road. But it's home, the only life I've ever known. Only you now alone. Tobacco Road. Tobacco Road. Oh, oh, oh. Bring some dynamite and a plane, blow it up and start all over again. Build a town, ride the show, give the name Tobacco Road.